Yeah, I think Hawk especially, being the driver of this team, really needs to try and exert his influence on things perhaps a little more.
And you can look at it the other way. He hasn't been a factor, and the game's almost tied up. So now if he becomes a factor, this thing could blow out.
The man of the first half, Cooper Osborne, will get us underway for the second half. He's been outstanding for South Australia Metro with 12 points. He started on the bench, but he starts on the floor here. This is Tosh. Stock. It comes back to Tosh. And now here's Osborne. Closed down quickly. He works off the screen. There's 5 on the shot clock as SA Metro goes to the air through Carlson. They come up empty, and this is Tweedy for Queensland North. Runnels. Pittman. Hawk. Hawk driving, but losing the ball. This is Carlson. Had a small gap and a bit of daylight, but it was quickly closed down, and he spills the ball out of bounds.
That was the first time we've seen Queensland North really use both sides of the floor.
So
going into the same.
Tweedy can't finish. It was almost a little misdirection play where SA Metro thought they were going to go back to Runnels, but Tweedy saw a line to the basket and took it but couldn't finish as Hawk brings it back in. This is Yates. To Runnels, firing for 3. Tosh with the long rebound. Stock. They go up top to English, and he's going to attack Yates off the dribble.
Can't get it to go.
Tweedy. Runnels up to Hawk. Hawk picks it up and fires and makes one. That is what he needs and what Queensland North needs, and they go ahead 33-32. This is Osborne. His pass is deflected out of bounds. 9 seconds on the shot clock as Tosh prepares to inbound. Osborne. Driving with the shot clock at 3. Queensland North will come back the other way with Hawk and Runnels.
Yates, big on the glass.
Yates with the offensive putback. And it's 35-32. Queensland North. Osborne. Matched up with Runnels. And Runnels has a significant size advantage. And that long arm pretty much tells Osborne not to come in against him next time down. Here's Osborne. Tosh. And again, Runnels with a finger on that. And another deflection as they look to kick it out with the shot clock expiring. There's a couple of big defensive efforts from Kane Runnels.
SA Metro just looking a little rattled here offensively. Queensland North come out with 2 massive defensive stops these first 2 possessions.
When a kid like Runnels, who's 206 centimetres, puts his hand up to challenge your shot, you're going to start having second thoughts. This is Hawk for 3. Osborne pushing in transition. English to Carlson. And Queensland North has really come alive defensively in this third quarter as Hawke gets to the rim and finishes. All of a sudden, Queensland North have got a little buffer. It's 5 with 6:28 to go in the period. Tosh can't get the 3 to go, and Yates picks up another rebound.
They need to stop this 6-0 run.
Tweedy firing and hitting.
It's a 9-0 run right now for Queensland North.
It's 40-32 for Queensland North, and they've just cracked this one open a little. Here's English for SA Metro. Stock working. Osborne. Runnels got some body on that, but it was a foot, so the ball will go back to SA Metro. The shot clock was down to 3, but it will reset to 14. And it's Queensland North by 8, 40-32. English tries his luck from outside. Osborne. They're going to rule a foul on Jalen Pittman.
This is hopefully to stop the 9-0 run for Queensland North.
So that's a third foul for Pittman with 5:39 left in the third. When you've been on the wrong end of a 9-0 run, any score is a good score. And Osborne makes the first.
Interesting to see the Pittman staying in the game.
He gets the second. I think Rod Anderson is happy to leave Pittman in because he's been keen on Osborne defensively. And then comes down the other end and makes a nice layup.
And that's why you leave him in there.
And there's Runnels again, but they're going to call a foul on the play. And that was a better play in transition, second foul on Runnels. At least South Australian Metro took the ball out of the basket, they got it in quick and they were running and attacking. And they get to the line, but Stock misses the first.
That was the best passage of play we've seen from SA Metro this quarter.
He makes the second and trims the margin to 7. It's 42-35 Queensland North. This is Hawke. Dropped it off for Yates. But they couldn't get the angles right on the ball, dropped the bounce and the catch.
This quarter for Queensland North has all the makings of a championship quarter.
You love a good championship quarter, I know. Runnels almost got a hand on another pass. This is Osborne to Stock. They swing to Tosh. And now to Stock. Osborne firing. Hawke with a controlled tip to Tweedy. Smart play from Hawke. Osborne momentarily had it. And here he is running. Couldn't finish. Tweedy. SA Metro just a little rattled still here as we go past the midway point of the third quarter. Runnels goes up and rolls it over the front of the rim. I think for a half second he thought he was going to get a dunk, but was happy to settle for the finger roll. Tosh. Osborne. And another turnover for SA Metro. That's a nice play. Tweedy with the bounce pass to Hawke for the simple finish. Queensland North has an 11-point lead as South Australia Metro calls timeout with 3:57 left in the third quarter. Right now, Queensland North are looking far the better team.
Coach Clark wanting that timeout, definitely to slow the momentum down of Queensland North, but just to try and get decent looks and decent scores for his group down the other end. But, you know, what's come into this game is Yates got a low post catch. It was one post gets it, the other one cuts. And then we've had Hawk being able to get onto the rim and be able to get his feet in the paint, cause some havoc. It's definitely a tale of two halves, I see.
Well, you never know. It could be the fable of four quarters. Nonetheless, Hawk is up to 10 points, as is Yates. Yates has got a double-double with 10 points and 11 rebounds. And as we mentioned, Queensland North needed Hawk to exert his influence, and he has done so this quarter. For South Australia Metro, Osborne still leads the way there with 14 points. He had 12 to half-time, and he's only added a pair of free throws in this quarter.
Tosh had 9. He's been quiet.
In fact, SA Metro's only scoring has come from the the free throw line, I should say, yet to hit a field goal, as they put another one in the attempt basket rather than the make basket. Queensland North looking to extend the lead. They go inside to Yates. He's triple teamed and kicks it out to Tweedy, who hits the runner while he is fouled and will go to the line for the extra.
Tweedy's been big. That's his 11th point for the game. He's mixed it up inside and out.
Ben Tweedy at the free throw line. Comes up a little short on the free throw.
Not often you see someone who's 3 from 3 from the three-point line and then it's nothing but air on the free throw line. Perhaps uncharacteristic.
Nothing a little WD-40 on the elbow won't fix before the fourth quarter.
He does shoot the free throw at 28%.
Here's Stock. If it gets tight, we know who they're going to, as in South Australia Metro. Good defense from Hawk on the ball. This is Stock. Carlson. And SA Metro is as dry as the Sahara right now from the field. This is Hawk working off the ball screen from Yates. He kicks to Tweedy,
who almost banked it from the corner.
And SA Metro come the other way there. They trail by 13. And firing is Jack King into the game. And that's a much-needed basket to cut the gap to 10. And that's the first field goal this quarter for South Australia Metro. Pittman up top to Hawk. He picks it up and fires. And Wilson lands out of bounds as he tries to corral the rebound. Queensland North have just been a little short on their last few attempts. And now they extend the defense against SA Metro, looking to turn the screws here before three-quarter time. It's a 10-point margin. And this is King for SA Metro. Firing again for another three.
It up.
He's 2 for 2 on back-to-back threes. That's instant offense from Jack King. Cuts the gap to 7. And Stock a little over-eager on the defense.
Jack King comes into this game 1 of 6 from the three-point line. Now 3 of 8.
He's 3 of 8. as Stock goes to the bench with his third foul for SA Metro. Each team only has 2 fouls for the quarter, so neither in the bonus. Yates with the inbounds pass from Mitchell Hill. And Tosh disrupts the handoff, and that's a good defensive play to get SA Metro into offense again. This is Rinaldi to King.
Let it rip.
Driving this time, and came up short. Wilson to Hawk. Will work off the on-ball screen. And his attempted post feed would have been okay if he was looking for Manute Bowl. And it goes out of bounds.
I think we're going to have a heat check for Jack King right now.
This is Tosh for SA Metro as we get towards 1 minute left in the third. Carlson. Tosh. Here's King. Driving and finishing.
Jack King has said to SA Metro, it's okay, boys, you can get on my shoulders. And they're big shoulders.
Cuts the margin to 5 and has really brought SA Metro alive. As Mitchell Hill loses the handle, they tie it up, and the possession arrow is with Queensland North.
6 seconds on the shot clock here.
And after a spirited exchange between Mitchell Hill and Tosh, the ball will be with Queensland North with 6 seconds on the shot clock and 28.2 on the game clock. As Kane Runnels checks in for Rory Hawk, who has been very good for the most part in this third quarter. Yates. Wilson steps back, and Yates comes up with the offensive rebound. There's about 6 seconds difference between the game shot and shot clock. Beecroft swings to Mitchell Hill in the corner. SA Metro will get the last shot if they go quick. Here's King. He defers, and they get up a rush shot at the buzzer from Tosh. It doesn't tumble, but after being to the point of Googling names and numbers of funeral directors, South Australia Metro is alive again in this quarter-final. They've cut the gap to 5, and it's Queensland North 48, South Australia Metro 43.
And that's been on the back of some of the best 4 minutes and 7 seconds of Jack King. Back-to-back triples, gets on the rim, misses a field goal, but he comes into the party with 8 points that quarter.
King with a couple of triples and a 2-point basket. As you said, 8 points in 4 minutes and 3 seconds.
You mentioned the microwave a few times.
That will get you noticed. And interestingly, it was a 17-11 quarter for Queensland North, but the momentum definitely swung in the last couple of minutes SA Metro's way when it looked like the game was really getting away from them.
Well, I don't think Queensland North scored in that last 3 minutes. Actually, when Jack King was on the floor, he's the Queensland North stopper.
So as we check the scores for Queensland North, it's Tweedy with 11, 10 for Hawk to go with 7 rebounds, and 10 for Yates on 4 of 6 shooting, 13 rebounds. Perhaps they need to go inside a little more to Yates in the 4th quarter. He's played all 30 minutes. And I guess while he might get tired, he's not going to get any shorter.
The thing separating these groups at the moment on the stat sheet is the trips to the free throw line. We've got Queensland North at 81% as opposed to SA Met 71%. And rebound tally, we've currently got turnovers, I should say. Queensland North at 14 with SA Met at 10. Really not much separating these two groups going into the final quarter.
So South Australia Metro, Osborne is the leading scorer there with 14.
Hasn't played.
As Runnels picks up an early foul for Queensland North. And that's his 3rd. So he's going to have to be a little careful for the next couple of minutes. Tosh has 9 and King 8 for South Australia Metro. And it's South Australia Metro with the ball. This is King, but he can't connect.
He had his toe on the line, he was too close.
This is Hawke for Queensland North. Wilson. Beecroft. Dumping off to Runnels, who couldn't get it to go. Carlson. Rinaldi with the cut behind the defender, but they couldn't connect on the pass, and it'll be Queensland North ball back the other way. SA Metro ideally would like to get the next basket, and just to keep Queensland North on the back foot a little. This is Wilson to Hawke. Good defense by Rinaldi. But Hawke works his way to the hoop and
snakes his way to the hoop.
Gets the 2. That's an important basket for Queensland North, and they go ahead by 7 as Rinaldi comes back the other way with a little bit of speed. It was almost like Rinaldi was offended by Hawke's effort at the other end. And now they go to work against each other. Yates to Runnels, and they are going to call a foul away from the ball on Queensland North. And it's going to be on Marshall Wilson, as our man Cooper Osborne checks back in for South Australia Metro.
Tosh.
And Tosh goes to the bench. This is Rinaldi. It's Queensland North by 5. Carlson off a very solid screen. They find King in the corner, and he hits.
3 from 4 from the 3-point line. He's our guy.
He is right now, until the next best thing comes along. This is Hawke. And now Yates. He tries to go to work, and he gets the fall of the ball. I think they need to go inside to Yates a lot more, Queensland North. This is South Australia Metro. They trail by 4.
Looking at King again, coming off staggers.
They kick it back out top. And that's short. That's short. That 3 is short from D'Annunzio. But here's King to Carlson to D'Annunzio, and Runnels gets a piece of the ball, but is going to be called for his 4th foul. Yeah, and they're going to have to take him out of the game.
I think he took umbrage at having his ankles broke in the short corner and responded heavily.
So Runnels goes out. And Pittman comes in. And they also bring Tweedy back in for Beecroft, who did a pretty decent job while he was on the floor.
So right now, the momentum's with SA Metro. They forced Queensland North into committing 3 team fouls. One more and they're going to the stripe. And they can really kill this game on the foul line.
As Marco D'Annunzio makes the first to cut the gap to 3. And now it's 2. So it's game on at Eagles Stadium in Werribee as we get close to 7 minutes left in the 4th. Hawke to Yates to Tweedy, who turns the corner but can't finish. Carlson for SA Metro. That's a slick pass to D'Annunzio on the run. And the rim runner gets the finish to tie the game at 52.
Yates not wanting to commit a foul, but he could have contested that. He's only got 1 personal foul for the game.
Nice transition bucket for SA Metro, and they can go again, but Osborne elects to slow it down. This is Carlson. Osborne. Rinaldi. Carlson off the screen, and D'Annunzio, in fairness, couldn't catch the pass that was behind his head. And it'll be Queensland North ball when we come back from this timeout. It's tied at 52 with 6:11 left in the game.
Queensland North having the championship quarter in the 3rd, but it's all SA Metro right now.
It was all SA Metro to close the 3rd quarter as Jack King came off the bench and lit a fire under SA Metro. And right now, even though the game is tied, they're looking the better of the 2 teams. Osborne, his scoring has slowed to nothing in the 2nd half.
Perhaps should have brought him off the bench.
While King is now the 2nd highest scorer for SA Metro with 11, and Tosh has 9. SA Metro is only shooting the ball at 33%. And Queensland North is doing better at 40%.
Now, given King came in the 3rd, and that was his first minutes, what I love about Coach Clark is that he's staying with the well. King's still in the game because until the well dries up, you keep going there. That's good coaching.
Hawke and Yates lead Queensland North with 12 points apiece, and Tweedy has 11. 16 turnovers for Queensland North and 12 for SA Metro. SA Metro has tidied that up.
SA Metro here with a little bit of a half-court trap just to delay Queensland North, and now Queensland North are getting into their action with 16 on the shot.
This is Hawke, guarded by Osborne as the shot clock gets to 7, and Pittman firing. Yates with another rebound, and unfortunately another turnover. This is Osborne.
Ooh.
Crosses over, gets to the corner to King, and Hawke is all over him like the proverbial cheap suit. Carlson, his floater was well short, and they tie it up, but there's a foul on Queensland North. I think it's going to be Tweedy. It is on Tweedy, and that puts them at the limit.
Certainly does, and that's exactly what you don't want.
Only a first foul for Tweedy, so he's good to go. But of course, any foul from here on is a pair of free throws for SA Metro. And SA Metro hasn't committed a personal foul this quarter.
Which can be a good thing and a bad thing coming down the stretch.
Exactly. You don't want to be left having to foul because you're trailing and you haven't got enough to put the other team to the line.
As a coach, you need to look at the 3-minute mark and wonder if you need to get your foul count up. It's a horrible feeling, but it's definitely a roll of the dice.
And they're going to inbound the ball to D'Annunzio and a Rinaldi. Now this is Osborne backing it out. He attacks off the dribble and finishes. That's a nice composed play by SA Metro, but by our man Cooper Osborne.
And the good thing about having King still out there on the floor is he's now a decoy.
Yep. As Hawk fires, D'Annunzio with the rebound. Carlson brings the ball up for SA Metro. They go in to D'Annunzio. He couldn't finish with a clean catch. As King attacks and is going to get called for the offensive foul. There's no question that Jack King is prepared to set the pace on offense, shall we say.
Yeah, he's definitely looking to be aggressive every catch.
So it's SA Metro ahead by 2, 54-52, with 4:40 left in the game. It's Queensland North ball, and South Australia Metro shows some extended defence here.
And if they can just continue to delay clock, put Queensland North under some shot clock pressure.
And they're succeeding in keeping the ball out of Hawk's hands off that inbounds play. This is Tweedy to Pittman, to Wilson. Now it's with Hawk. Goes to Wilson. Tweedy firing for 3 and gets it. That's a big 3 from Ben Tweedy to put Queensland North ahead by 1. 55-54 with 4:10 left in the contest. Rinaldi to D'Annunzio, and now Osborne. The 3 ball doesn't go for Ben Carlson. This is Hall. Penetrating and firing. Carlson. To Osborne. D'Annunzio. Back to Osborne. Shot clock at 6. Osborne penetrates, and the floater is off the mark. Hawk pushes back the other way.
Jack King coming up with a stop.
And here's King at the other end. And to D'Annunzio, and they'll bring it back out top to Carlson. Out of a horn set. King flares open. He fires. And he's short. The magic may have worn off.
And I think that's the conversation right now on the SA Metro bench.
This is Tweedy for Queensland North. Ahead by 1. Yates. Pittman driving and finishing. That's a tough finish for Jalen Pittman. Here's King from the corner, and he's short again. There's a whistle off the ball, and I think that's going to be called on Marshall Wilson. It is, as SA Metro makes some changes. D'Annunzio and King check out as English and Tosh come back in. And it looks like Stock is going to come in for Rinaldi if he makes the second free throw here. Queensland North also make some changes, and they bring Runnels back in and roll the dice. He's on 4 fouls, but with 2:23 left, it's a logical play. It's not a risk.
Certainly is, and it looks like that SA Metro are going back to starters. Minus Osborne.
So Rinaldi is good from the line, and he goes to the bench, replaced by Stock. It's a 1-point game with 2:23 left. Queensland North on top, 57-56. Let's see how this unfolds. This is Runnels for Queensland North. Hawk, closely guarded by Stock. Yates. Tweedy. Yates turns the corner on the rip and gets a nice finish at the rim. I'm putting the saddle on the big boy every time down the floor now, and I'm going to ride him home.
Well, they heard you.
It's 59-56, Queensland North. English.
You called it 2 minutes ago.
Carlson. Osborne. 7 on the shot. Osborne driving. Can't get the roll. This is Hawk. And Hawk is fouled on the drive. They call it on Sean Stock for SA Metro. And that's a 4th foul for Sean Stock. Rory Hawk will go to the line for Queensland North and try to push the margin to 5. Maybe 4. 1:35 left. He gets the second. So it's Queensland North 60, SA Metro 56. We're down to 90 seconds left in this quarter-final. Remember, the winner advances to the medal round. The loser is done. Here's Carlson. Tosh. They get Stock in the corner. And that was Tweedy with a hand on the shot. Hawk with the rebound. And he's fouled on the rebound. The foul is called on Noah English.
So they've got a foul to give before they send them to the bonus. So do you take that foul now?
It's a tough one. It's a 4-point game, and if they score on this possession, it's 6 or maybe 7, so perhaps you do. Runnels inbounds to Hawk. Back to Runnels. And there's the foul.
It's not a bad foul.
From SA Metro, inadvertent, but nonetheless, it puts them at the limit. So with 1:02, we could have a mini free throw contest the rest of the way and see whose nerve holds up.
Looks like SA Metro are going to take a timeout on the score here.
So Hawk inbounds to Yates as English tries to get the steal. Runnels gets to the rim. Yates with a big offensive rebound and putback. And that is a huge basket from Lukey Yates in the context of not only this game, but this tournament for Queensland North. It puts Queensland North ahead by 6, 62-56, with 55 seconds left to play. South Australia Metro have called timeout, and you would imagine they will advance the ball to try and get a quick basket to cut the gap.
Yates been massive with 14 points and 7-0 rebounds for his total of 16. It's another road board with a putback to extend the Queensland North lead by 6. It's going to be interesting. What do you do here, Grantley, out of this timeout? What are you looking for? Are you looking for a quick 3 or a quick 2?
It's interesting that every time Osborne has got the ball this quarter, he has slowed it down and backed it out to look for penetration. They can't afford to have that much time tick off the clock anymore. So I think they've got to be looking to maybe run off some weak side screens to the ball for a catch and shoot. Something quick. And you know what? Maybe they need to get King back in the game here.
Or Bruce, just for this possession. There's nothing wrong with subbing on every possession.
At least to keep Queensland North honest on defence and perhaps open it up for everyone else. So we've got 55 seconds left. And it's South Australia Metro ball, trailing by 6. And looking for a reasonably quick score without rushing and forcing something up or turning it over. Stock goes to Tosh in the corner, and he hits the 3. That's exactly what they wanted coming out of the timeout. They cut the gap to 3, 62-59 with 42 seconds left. This is Hawke for Queensland North. Works off the ball screen from Yates. He gets his feet in the paint and travels. And that is a big turnover. Rod Anderson feels there should have been a foul call, but I think the referee got that one 100% right.
We've got 3 possessions left in this game, and SA Met again advancing it, or having a timeout to advance it.
They call the timeout, and I guess they figure that if they get a score, Queensland North will call timeout and they'll advance it. So it's going to be a 2-for-1 situation.
Here, looking into the SA Metro huddle, looks like one of the assistants has obviously got something to draw up. You know, you don't see that too often where the head coach is able to hand it over. And I actually think it's refreshing. It's a good thing. Obviously, one of his guys, he trusts in his huddle to go, you know what, I got something here. And it's going to be interesting to see how the boys respond. Again, they're clearly, they may look for the quick 2. As I said, there's 3 possessions left in this ball game.
Any score's a good score right now. You don't necessarily need the 3 to tie. So let's reset with 31.4 left in the game. Lukey Yates leads Queensland North with 16 points on 7 of 9 shooting and 17 rebounds. Tweedy has 14 and Hawke 13. For SA Metro, Osborne has 16, Tosh 12 and King 11. And it's going to be Stock to inbound the ball for SA Metro with 31.4 on the game clock, 14 on the shot clock. SA Metro down by 3. And Tosh is in the corner where he was on the last play.
Turn out.
They run Stock to the corner, and now here's Tosh up high. Runnels has got him covered. They kick it to the corner for Stock. He hits the 3, and the game is tied at 62 with 18.8 seconds left in the game. Queensland North with the timeout. Now, the bottom line is, as you said in that timeout for SA Metro, they clearly had a play drawn up. And not only did they run it pretty much to perfection, but they executed it with poise and assertiveness.
Well, they didn't have an open look off their primary action or secondary action. They actually got it off their 3rd action with the corner 3. They had stagger action with the guy coming off the top, and they kept their head, and they ended up making the extra pass, open look. There are good shots and there are great shots. That's a great shot off an extra pass. But this is what's interesting right now. Queensland North have a possession here. They can take the last shot of the game. They can go early. SA Metro are out of timeouts.
So we're tied at 62, and for those keeping count at home, that was Sean Stock's first field goal of the game. And what a time to hit a 3 from the corner. He's tied it at 62.
And he's 25% from the 3-point line.
The next one's always going in.
And that's what I love about South Australian basketball. They'll never die wondering.
It's 62-62. Queensland North are going to advance the ball. Now,
or maybe not.
Well, there you go. So they
want the full
clock. They're going to take the full shot clock, and that's a crafty move by Rod Anderson. Let's see how SA Metro's D holds up here, because a foul will put Queensland North to the line. So if you're over-aggressive, you're going to give them free throws. If you're too cautious, you might give them an easy basket. This is Hawke. No surprise the ball's in his hand. The clock is now at 10.
Stockton Malone on ball.
He works off the on ball from Yates. He fires and gets the 2 from the elbow. SA Metro have to go because they're out of timeouts. Hawk makes a play, and they say the ball was going to go out of bounds off SA Metro. So Queensland North calls a timeout. Now, after Hawk makes that jumper, clearly SA Metro's out of timeouts.
Yep.
And they've got to go the distance of the floor. Hawk with the defensive play, perhaps a little risky, but nonetheless, he disrupted it, and it's gone out of bounds off SA Metro. Queensland North has the ball back.
It might just be called the Eagle Stadium, but the Hawk had landed. He's in the house.
I don't know who's writing your stuff, but we'll give you a tick for that one. So, 1.3. Now, the trick here is they need a steal and a basket in 1.3 because if they send them to the line, they're going to trail by at least 3, maybe 4.
It's got to be still by Bird.
So, and the other factor is you need to be careful if you foul before the ball comes in.
It's an unsportsmanlike.
It's an unsportsmanlike, and it's free throws and possession. So, SA Metro might have all taken a knee in that timeout huddle and offered a prayer. This will be Runnels to inbound. I guess they can hope for a 5-second violation on the inbounds pass. Hawk gets open, and that'll do it. It's Queensland North advancing to the medal round with a 64-62 win over South Australia Metro. We talked about the fact that Hawk needed to exert his influence on the game, and when the game was on the line, he did exactly that with the game-winning basket.
He certainly did, and you know he came into the game with only 4 points in the first half, and he ends up with 15. So contributing 11 points in the second half, and again that 2 points late in that quarter to secure the win. Again, the third quarter, championship quarter, Queensland North took it. Even though SA had the momentum going into the fourth, it just wasn't enough.
So, a big game from the big man for Queensland North, Lukey Yates. He played all 40 minutes for 16 points on 7 of 9 shooting and 2 of 2 free throws. He had 17 rebounds and he helped out with 3 assists. Hawk had 15 points, 9 rebounds and 3 assists. And Ben Tweedy finished with 14 points on a tidy 5 of 8 shooting for Queensland North. For South Australia Metro, it was Cooper Osborne leading the way with 16 points, but Queensland North put the clamps on him in the second half. They also got 12 from Tosh and 11 with King as he came off the bench with more than a spark in the second half. SA Metro ended up only shooting the ball at 30.